All right, so for the second video for this week, where we cover close combat and ranged combat, we are going to dive into ranged combat. We're also going to re-look at the line of sight rules. So if for whatever reason, when we covered that last week, or you saw that video, you're like, screw this, I'm out, not watching this anymore, well, you're going to miss a lot of clarification for today, because I am going to clarify particularly on the forest and foliage front. I'm not going to focus on anything else, but we're going to look at the ranged combat rules as they are presented in this book, and we're going to start doing that now. So please look in the description of the video to find where you can support us. Like, subscribe, and share, all that good stuff here. I'll even put this up for you. Look at that. Like, subscribe, and share. Our YouTube analytics shows that we have a very good click-through rate when it shows it to people. YouTube just doesn't show our videos to people. So maybe you can show them to people. Even if it's to mock us, it's okay. View time is view time. Let's present this here. Now I have to do that and that. Make sure the audio is on. Why do you need audio? That will come later. And share. Okay. And F11, that bad boy. You can hide. All right, let's go to our ranged combat rules, which I already forgot what page it was on. I think it's 64. Nope. There we go. Ranged combat. I guess I got to zoom in more. To attack someone with a handheld ranged weapon, so we're talking a rifle, a pistol, a pipe gun, all those weird things, your makeshift shotgun that will work once and then blow up in your hands, you roll for ranged combat. Except for thrown weapons, which use mobility. Remember, this game has only 12 skills, so you have to figure out which one is going to be in this.
There's a lot of overlap.
Yes. You must have line of sight to your target. Oh, for the love of God, here we go again with line of sight. With the exceptions of indirect fire and firing through cover and smoke. Indirect fire would be things like mortar rounds and so forth.
Yeah.
Chapter 5 describes a variety of firearms and other ranged weapons. We will get to that in, I don't know, a couple weeks. Firing a weapon is a slow action. Agree or disagree? That's what it is. I can actually fire 15 times in a second. Well, guess
but
what?
You're not aiming at anything.
Well, the game actually takes that into consideration with ammo dice, and I think we might get into that today. I forget where I read them. But, all right, if your attack succeeds, you hit your target and inflict your weapon's base damage rating on target. Each extra success rolled will increase the damage by 1. Roll for a random hit location and apply the effects of armor. Heathen Dog, what are the effects of armor based on the rules of the game?
I don't know.
There you go. You have to read the examples to find out how armor works in the game. I think that is, again, big failure. Free League usually writes really good books. This one is armor reduces damage by the rating number. So if you have an armor rating of 2, it reduces the damage by 2. Nice and simple, but it doesn't explicitly say that in the rules of the game. You have to read the, at least that I've found so far. There might be a place, but anyway, critical injury. If the damage inflicted after mitigation by armor and cover is equal to or higher than the crit threshold of your weapon, you also inflict a critical injury on the target. We'll get to that, I think, next week. I explained it in the last video, but for the people who didn't see that one, if most weapons have a crit threshold 1 higher than the damage rating of the weapon. So if your rifle does 3, it tends to have a crit rating of 4. So
I'm sure there's specialty weapons or specialty ammo that will increase, decrease, all this stuff that we'll get into in gear, but generally,
yes. To be fair, I know I've skimmed through it, but yeah, they talk about effectively armor penetration, hollow points, and then especially with vehicle weapons, they go into high explosive and so forth. Yeah. Aiming. Before you fire, you need to spend a fast action to aim at your target. If you don't, your attack counts as a quick shot and suffers negative modifiers. Pistols, carbines, and SMGs, and oh, for the love of God, when we get to the gear section, maybe I'm the one in the wrong. And if I am, I'll take the own on it. But my understanding is this game does not understand what a carbine is. And I want all the folks out there right now, again, get your mocking hats on, ready to go. Maybe I'm the idiot in this one. My understanding of a carbine is essentially a rifle that uses pistol ammo. So if you have a carbine, it looks like a rifle, it looks like an M4, it looks like an M16, but it's using pistol ammo. So it's using. Okay. Is that what is
I have a rifle that uses 9mm.
right? Yeah, that's the most common one.
Yeah.
So that's my understanding. That's how it's always been explained to me. And Nerd says, well, submachine guns are carbines, a short-barreled rifle firing rifle rounds.
That's not my understanding, but okay. I mean,
well, okay. See, that's the weird thing, because when I
just Googled it,
when I when I buy ammo, I never get the carbine thing for the rifle for rifles, but okay, or for rifle ammo. Maybe that's just the way the store works. But okay, Nerd says I'm wrong. I'll trust your judgment.
According to Google, it's a firearm similar to a lightweight rifle, but with a shorter barrel.
Okay. Then the place where I buy ammo is wrong. I'll tell you that. But okay, great. Corrected on that one.
Oh, and it says here, most modern carbines are rifles that are a compact version of a longer rifle, or are rifles chambered for less powerful cartridges. The smaller size and lighter weight of carbines make it easier to handle.
Okay, so really both are true.
Or both.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so I'll say I was half wrong on that one.
Yeah.
So pistols, carbines, and SMGs get a -1 modifier. Why? Because they are smaller weapons, and it is easier to get them in to just quickly bam. All of the ranged weapons, -2 modifier. Again, guys, -1, -2 isn't a lot. You still want to prefer to aim. What is your character's ranged weapon skill that you scribbled down?
Ranged weapon skill plus my let's see, range weapon. What the hell is it? Oh, there goes A.
Okay, so
and
you're already rolling 2d12,
right? So it's AB.
Yeah. Or AB?
No, it's AB. So I have a D12, D10.
D12, D10. If you're using a rifle, you're going to be so instead of a D12, D10, you'll be rolling a D10, D8. Still a pretty good possibility of success, right?
Yeah.
And if you use a pistol, a carbine, or an SMG, you only
D10,
lose
D10.
one, so you'll be rolling 2d10.
Yeah.
Don't cry over that modifier. I know how to quick. Okay, I get it. Every time we do gun stuff, somebody who's like some sort of competition shooter comes in. It's like, competition shooters are a different breed, folks.
Yeah.
All right, we're stuck on the first paragraph. We got to get going. If you do anything else except shoot your weapon after you have aimed, you lose the effect of the aim, and you need to spend another fast action to aim again. Implication is, actually, this next sentence will say it, you can fire repeatedly at the same target without breaking your aim. There you go. Once you've basically locked on to a target, I shouldn't use that word, but once you've got somebody in your sights, you don't have to aim every round.
Yes.
You've already got
the first round, yes. But
right.
as long as you're firing on the same target in subsequent rounds, you don't have to burn your fast action to aim.
Okay.
Right? Okay. There you go. Good deal.
Telescopic sights. If your weapon has a telescopic sight, you can aim as a slow action and get a +1 bonus. Now, before I even read on, because I think it's going to tell you this anyway, what does that mean? I have to aim as a slow action. What does that mean for this round?
That means you're not firing this round.
Okay. If you also have a stable platform to fire, bipod on the ground if you're prone, the bonus is +2. No ammo dice can be used in the attack. That is crazy to me.
That means yet.
I know. This is really a sniping rule is what it is, okay? Sure. Note that this means you cannot slow aim and fire in the same round. I think we will be talking about ammo dice in this video.
Okay.
If not, it's in it's next week for sure. Range. The ranged weapon table indicates the short range of a weapon in hexes. So just arbitrarily, I'm just throwing out a number. If it says that your weapon fires 10 hexes, that's its short range.
Which is pretty far.
Up to twice the short range is called medium range. Up to 4 times is long range. And up to twice long range is extreme range, which is maximum range at which you can possibly hit a target. We'll get into a little bit more of that in a moment. So firing at medium range gives you a -1 modifier, firing at long range -2, and firing at extreme range -3.
So basically, sometimes when you're shooting a gun, you would use the right tool for the right job.
Yeah.
If someone's far from you, if you wouldn't want to shoot him with a handgun, you'd want to shoot him with a rifle because it's going to have a longer base range, which is short. Okay.
Firing in close combat. If you shoot at an active and aware enemy in the same hex as you get a negative modifier to attacks depending on your weapon. Pistols and carbines get a -1. All the ranged weapons get a -2. I would argue that a 10-meter hex is a bit big for that.
Yeah, pistol? No. I mean, a rifle, I understand because far away, movements of your opponent do not require major adjustments. But for a pistol at in the same hex, it's not.
Remember, this also includes people at arm's reach of you. It's got to balance that out. And I can guarantee you that if somebody doesn't want to be shot that's at arm reach of you, good luck trying to shoot them.
With a rifle, I would definitely agree 100%.
Even with a pistol.
I don't know, man. I don't think it's worth a modifier, but it's just me.
So my more quibble was all the way out to 10 meters. If you think you're on one edge of the hex and you're on the other edge of the hex.
If you're on different edges of the hex, that 10 meters for a pistol, come on now.
But it's implying that you're in close combat range, probably ultimately going to be grappling and punching,
sure,
whatever. Yeah. So that's why the rule is generic. It can't account for every single situation.
Yeah, I get it.
Defenseless target. You already know this rule. If your target is in the same hex and immobile or unaware of you, you gain a +3 bonus. Shotguns. For shotguns, range gives no negative modifier to hit. So you can shoot out to extreme range with no negative modifier to hit. Are you ready to hear everybody call me a hypocrite and a liar?
Sure.
Instead, the base damage is reduced by 1 at medium range, 2 at long range, and by 3 at extreme range.
That makes sense. I mean, well, if you don't have a slug, if you have regular shotgun, shot, then the farther away that you go from you and your target, the more that the pellets spread out and less pellets hit your enemy.
Remember when I was talking before about how this game doesn't modify damage? I completely forgot about this until I saw shotguns. Like, oh crap! Because I remember reading it earlier. It's like, oh, so it does do that.
Yeah. So all that is mitigate. Yeah. So I'm right. This book sucks. Change it.
Note that the base damage at extreme range for most shotguns will be 0. Even a hit that inflicts no damage can cause suppression.
Well, it'll scare the crap out of somebody.
Yeah, I forgot. I game with ADHD. I forgot. I literally forgot that it was in here. I read it earlier this week, and I forgot that it was in here. Stance. Firing at a prone target gives you a -1 modifier unless the target is in the same hex, in which case being prone provides no protection. So remember, this is the target we're talking about, not you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of the things that they taught us when I was in the military. Drop, roll, and be random about which direction you roll in. Remember, dropping to the ground is a free action, but can only be done on your own turn. Standing up is a fast action. By the way, this is one of the things that I want to cover right now. I'm not going to go into line of sight yet, but when we start talking about things like line of sight, how far you may be able to see and so forth, dropping to the ground is a free action. Taking cover is a free or fast action. Well, it's a fast action. It's right there. But can only be done on your own turn. Remember, being spotted is not about you taking cover. Yeah, but cover, the actions of you being seen, not about you taking cover. When you take cover, doesn't say you have to roll. What does it say? You can take cover. That is a whole different deal when it comes to line of sight, when we talk about that later, than just the ability to be spotted. All right. So, dropping to the ground is a free action. Taking cover, partial or full, is a fast action. So you can, as a fast action, take cover in a hex with the appropriate terrain type or next to a barrier. Remember, cover only works in a specified direction. We talked about that last week. For example, not against attacks from the side or behind. See the diagram, page 59. If you are prone and behind cover, only the cover benefits apply. Otherwise, you wouldn't have cover. All right, here we go. Ranged fire modifiers. Quick shot. -1 or -2. We already talked about that above. We're not going to read all of these. We're just going to kind of look through them. Long range -2. Again, we talked about that. Active target in same hex -1 or -2. Called shot, same thing as it was for close combat, -2. Moving target. What do you think that means?
That's you're shooting at someone that is actively running or evading in some fashion, is aware of you, or is just running.
How far do you think the person has to move to get that modifier?
I would imagine 10 meters.
So 1 hex?
1 hex, yeah.
Okay, you're right.
If you change hexes, you have to significantly change aim. So it's going to be -1 to hit them. I get it.
Now you still get to keep as long as you stay on that target.
Yeah, you're still actively aiming without burning a fast action. Sure, yeah. But the whole thing of now you have to move your rifle a little bit. It's gonna throw off your aim just a touch, which is -1.
So you got firing from a moving vehicle, large and small target, which we'll talk about in a moment. Elevated firing position. It's always good to have the high ground. Mm-hmm. And you can see the rest on there. Heavy rain or wind. I mean, snipers really love this.
-1. All right.
Well, for a normal shot, again, you can change the if you want to give a sniper that's trying to shoot a mile, giving them -3, I don't think anybody would complain about. A wargamer might. I know I'm mocking the wargamers today again. So it only says -1. No, the game also says multiple times that the referee will use judgment. So partial cover. Partial cover does not modify the hit chance, but gives you an armor level for body parts behind the cover. Torso and legs if you want to be able to fire yourself, as you'll need to expose your arms and head. Read more about hit locations on page 72. Like I said, I think that's next.
Oh, okay. So partial cover, if someone shoots at you and they have to roll in the hit location and they get feet or legs, your cover is going to give extra armor.
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
And it's the only way armor stacks. You can't wear 5 suits of armor and have it stack, but
cover stacks with armor.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Called shots. If you want, wait, did I read this? Full cover. Full cover breaks line of sight and typically makes it impossible to hit the target. Firing at a target in full cover can be done with a -3 modifier if the referee rules that the attacker knows the approximate location of the target and it's something you can shoot through. Right. I'll hit again. I know it's a pedantic thing. It probably shouldn't bother me the way it does, especially as I'm trying to say that the game's defining terms. But cover and concealment are such different things. It annoys me when I see them differently because you can shoot through concealment. I would give them, shooting through a tarp. You're hiding behind a tarp. The sun is not angled on this, so you're not shadowed or silhouetted in any way. Yeah, I could see that, but a bullet's going to go through that like a hot knife through butter. Anyway, all hit locations are protected by full cover. Called shots, same thing as before, -2. There you go. Moving target. If your target has moved since your previous turn, your shot gets a -1 modifier. If you fire from a vehicle that has moved since your previous turn, so this does. If you're just sitting in the thing smoking a cigarette and you're shooting downrange, no modifier. But if you're going over, boom, 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 it's -2 to fire. Target size.
All of those minuses stack. So if you're in a moving vehicle and your target is moving, it would be -3, right?
Yes. Okay. Target size. Firing at a large target, such as a vehicle, gives you a +2 modifier to the attack. This just means you're just trying to hit the vehicle. You're not trying to hit the gas tank on the vehicle. You're not trying to shoot through the driver's window of the vehicle. This is just, I just want to hit the vehicle. You get a +2 modifier to the attack. It's big. Firing at a small object, such as a porthole, suitcase, or handheld weapon, gives a -2 modifier. So if you want to be really cool and shoot the gun out of somebody's hand, a rifle out of somebody's hand would be a -2 modifier. If it's a pistol, I would give it a higher modifier than even that. But, again, simplicity's sake, it's -2. Elevation. When firing from a hex at higher elevation than the target, you gain a +1 modifier. Terrain, weather, and darkness. Here, now we're going to get into the fun stuff. The terrain of the target hex can give you a -1 or a -2 modifier unless the target's in the same hex as you. Heavy rain, fog, and strong winds can give you negative modifier to ranged attacks, and your referee is going to explain what those conditions are as you play. The modifier is typically -1, but can be higher at the referee's discretion. That needs to be bolded, highlighted, written in orange, because this is going to solve every argument that everybody's going to want to have later. Okay? Can be higher at the referee's discretion. At dusk or in a dimly lit room, you suffer a -1 modifier to your shot. At night or in a dark room with only a little light, it's -2 modifier. You cannot hit a target in total darkness. Night vision goggles and what's that?
Hold my beer.
Night vision goggles and thermal optics.
See, I didn't know that darkness was considered full cover. So suck it, chump. I can try. Getting lucky,
Sure.
getting lucky.
Sure, in a game, that's a tough part of this game. You know, when we play games like that are percentile based, or even D20 based. All right, you roll a natural 20, I'll give it to you. You know, something like that. But in a game that doesn't do that, that makes it very difficult to add a random rule like that, because your percentages are so high. That okay, you can do it if you get 5 successes. Wait, what? You know. So I understand why the rule is in there like that. Anyway, dense smoke breaks line of sight and typically makes it impossible to hit the target. However, if the referee deems it likely that you know what hex your enemy is in, you can still fire, but with a -3 modifier.
There you
Hey,
go.
we know he was running left, and we guess that they're still going to keep running left because they probably want to get behind that building over there. We're just going to, lead them, whatever. Yeah, I like that rule for the -3 modifier.
Yep.
Machine guns. Machine guns are fired using the heavy weapon skill. But when firing from a vehicle mount or tripod, use agility instead of strength. So if you're trying to Jesse it, you hold up. Okay, that's strength. We talked about this last week.
Yep.
If it's mounted or on a tripod, you're down. You're the 60 gunner. You're down. It's agility. I think I did that more like a 50 cal, but you'll get over it. There are 3 types of machine guns as indicated in the weapons list. Light machine guns, normally fired from a bipod, can be fired when carried with a -2 modifier. General purpose, normally fired from a bipod, tripod, or vehicle mount, and can be fired when carried with a -3 modifier. Heavy can only be fired by Jesse Ventura or from a tripod or a vehicle mount.
I ain't got time for the rules.
Right. Could you imagine actually taking something like that and seeing how long you could hold it straight forward without it?
Oh, God. I probably couldn't even hold it up for a half a second while firing.
Yeah. Picking it up. I mean, the weight of the ammo itself.
I know. Rather than hit anyone else, I'm more likely to shoot myself.
Friendly fire. You can fire at a target even if your line of fire crosses a hex where one or more friendly fighters are located, but these friendlies must all immediately make a coolness under fire roll to avoid being suppressed. Also, if your shot misses, roll 2d6 base dice. Any success means random friendly is hit instead. That's basically a 33% chance.
Yeah, you have to roll a 6 to get a success, so you have to max out at least one of those dice.
Yeah, well, but that's still a 33% chance, isn't it?
Yeah.
2d6 getting a 6.
I don't think so.
It's effectively 2 and
okay. Well, all right. No, I'm not going to touch it.
There's a page. There's a page on here that tells.
There is.
Forget it. But the point is, I actually think that's pretty high.
It is significant chance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I don't know. Now maybe I'm. Well, you know what? If you're at the same elevation, yeah. Obviously, if you're at a higher elevation, okay, yeah, there are things you can do to mitigate it again, but we'll move on. Overwatch. All right. Overwatch, you'll add this little icon that you see on the screen there to the map board to say, hey, you've got Overwatch. As a fast action, you can assume an Overwatch position against a specified hex in line of sight, including your own. To indicate this, place an Overwatch token in the target hex. So basically you're saying, I am watching this area, watching this hex. If you have a telescopic sight, you can use a slow action to assume Overwatch, claiming the normal bonuses for this when firing. So that would be, was it the +2? Is that what it was? I already forgot. Look at the chart. Between now and your next turn, you can fire your weapon once against a target in the hex. You can fire whenever you want in the round, breaking the initiative order. Your shot is resolved before all other actions, even if they're already declared. For example, if an enemy in your target hex wants to fire a weapon on his turn, you can shoot first. That's the whole point of Overwatch. He pops up his head, you take it off. The enemy is not allowed to change his action after your Overwatch attack. Like, oh, I popped my head up, I'm going to shoot. No, I don't want to shoot now. Yes, you do. Firing when an Overwatch position counts as a normal aimed ranged attack. Therefore, you must save your slow action in the round to be able to make an Overwatch attack. I mean, to be fair, that makes sense. You're focused on that area, right? You can only make one Overwatch attack per round. Interesting, it doesn't say anything about ammo dice, so that's good. If you and an enemy have Overwatch against each other's hexes and both choose to fire at the same time, an opposed range combat roll determines which attack goes first.
Dueling sniper.
What's that? Dueling snipers. There you go. This roll does not count as an action for either shooter. You're just determining who goes first. So, losing Overwatch.
As I was coming back, I heard something. Can you scroll up a little bit? Something about when you're on Overwatch and someone pops their head, you just shoot. There is no do I want to shoot. There is no
no. You get to choose.
Oh, whether you shoot or not.
No,
but those are the only choices you get.
No, for example, if an enemy in your target hex wants to fire a weapon on his turn, you can shoot for what it is like if he pops his head up and he wants to take aim at something, you because you've already got positioning on him, you act first is the point.
Okay.
And he doesn't get to change his action because now he knows that you're there shooting at him because he had no clue you were there. Well, probably had no clue that you were there if you're in a good Overwatch spot. Or he's just being dumb. I can get him before he gets me. I'll pop up doesn't even have his rifle on target and you're, I mean,
if I know that guy, Jim's a really bad shot. I can do this.
Fair. Yeah. Somebody's got 2d6. No, somebody's never used a rifle before, has 1d6 in an Overwatch position. Yeah.
I'll take my chances on that one.
You could, yeah. So losing Overwatch. You keep your Overwatch position until you break it or any of the following occurs. You perform any action other than Overwatch fire. Well, that makes sense. You are attacked in close combat. Yeah, you're probably paying attention to somebody kicking you in the ribs. You suffer damage. That kind of shakes you a little bit. Or you are suppressed. You're keeping your head down now. All of that makes sense. Ready for the ammo rolls?
Okay, lay it on me.
Firearms store ammunition in a magazine or an ammo belt. And I should write down. I'm going to write down. Hold on a second. I'm going to write down the part that Heathen Dog's not going to like when it comes to ammo dice.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay. It's generic. I use generic wording because I didn't want to write an entire paragraph because I got to talk, but it'll make sense. Firearms store ammunition in a magazine or ammo belt. How many rounds of ammo your weapon can hold is indicated by its mag rating. A weapon can only be loaded with ammo of the correct caliber as indicated in the ammo column in the firearms listing. Now, this is going to be a little different from... What's that?
So far, we're good. Yeah.
Right. It is a little different from the Free League games because it does worry about caliber, but again, it is a more realistic style war game in this regard. You're actually playing a war game where you have those things in consideration. Ammo dice. Firearms give you ammo dice to add to your skill roll. 6 such tan-colored D6s. Where am I? There they are. Where's a normal D6? So here's a normal D6. There's the one with the splody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's the 6 with the target.
Sure.
Okay. Now you've got ammo dice, and you have the one with the splody.
Sure.
And the 6 with the bullet.
Okay.
By the way, as long as you have 2 different colored dice, you can still just use the dice from your Monopoly set.
Yeah, they're all just 1s and 6s. That's it.
Where the 6 such tan-colored D6s are included in this box set. You can add as many ammo dice to your attack as you like from 0 up to the rate of the fire of the weapon. So if the weapon is a rate of fire of 3, you can use up to 3 ammo dice. Does that make sense to everybody so far?
Sure.
Rating up to the weapon, or the number of rounds left in the magazine -1. Why is it
Fair enough.
-1? Because you're firing it.
You're
normally.
firing one shot, and then
Yeah.
the extra rate of fire is extra bullets, right? So
Boom.
yeah.
Got it.
Okay, got it.
For example, if you have 3 rounds left, you can add up to 2 ammo dice.
Sure.
If you have only 1 round left, you cannot add any ammo dice to the roll. To
Fair.
our roll, editor. In this case, or if you choose to use no ammo dice, only 1 round of ammunition is used in the attack. This is typically only the case for sniper shots, but can also be useful if you're very low on ammo or your weapon is in bad condition. Or you just want to be a controlled shooter. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what your problem is.
All right. Rolling a 6 on an ammo die, that's the bullet, is a success, just like with a D6 base die. But successes on ammo dice do not contribute to hitting your target.
Okay.
Instead, successes on ammo dice have different specific effects as outlined below. The 6 side of the engraved ammo dice marked with the bullet. Okay. So here we go. If your attack hits, remember, only check the base dice. What is yours again? D12, D10?
Yeah.
A and B, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So you roll D12, D10, you get 3 successes. That means you hit, correct? Just as an example. I don't care how many 6s you roll on the ammo dice. Okay, you roll a D6 and D10, I'm sorry, a D10, D12, and for whatever reason, you get a 4 and a 2. You missed, but you got 3 successes on the ammo dice. You still missed.
Yeah.
Right. If your attack hits, each of your ammo dice can be used to either increase the damage or trigger an additional hit on the same target or on a secondary target in the same hex. Let's look at that step by step there. You can just instantly say, you know what? Increase the damage. Boom. By 1 point. All right. Or, and this would be really good if somebody's not wearing armor, trigger an additional hit. That's effectively a second bullet hitting the person. And let's say your weapon does 3 damage. You've now just done 6 damage to him.
Sure.
Okay. Or a secondary target in the same hex. So somebody's trying to shoot me up here and you down there. Success number 1, ammo dice down to you.
Yeah. I mean, it's you're walking your weapon.
There you go.
With full auto. I get it.
Yep. Okay. You cannot choose a secondary target that would be harder to hit directly than the primary target. Each additional, so if he's behind too much cover or whatever, you can't use ammo dice to try to sneak in an accidental hit on somebody that you couldn't hit normally.
Right.
That's kind of the point of that. Each additional hit inflicts base damage on a random hit location, and the damage is increased by 1 for each further success you spend on it. Okay, and second bullet here. If your attack misses, rolling 1 or more successes on ammo dice means that the target can still be suppressed.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, even though you didn't hit anything, you fired a bunch of rounds downrange, and they're whizzing over this guy's head. He could just fall to the ground and go, oh my God.
Yep.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure we discussed suppression in this video. I think it's the last thing we talk about, if I remember correctly. Pushing and reliability. If you push your roll, you must also re-roll all ammo dice not showing explodies or bullets. Okay. Ammo dice have the explosion symbol on the one side, just like the base dice. When pushing each one on a base die or an ammo die will reduce the reliability rating of the weapon by 1 each. So if you, for some reason, roll really horribly and you get a whole bunch of those ones, let's say you roll that
cooked your barrel or something, whatever.
Yeah. But for the purposes of numbers, you roll that D12 and D10, right?
Yep.
And on that D12, you got your 2 successes. You rolled a 12. You rolled 11. Who cares? It's still 2 successes. But on that D10, you rolled a 1. And then you also had ammo dice with it. We'll say you rolled 3 ammo dice with it. And 2 of those also came up with explodies. That's 3. A drop of 3 on the reliability rating. Hey, you may have still hit, though, with those 2 successes.
Yeah. I mean, I probably did and put a bunch of bullets in my target, but it damaged my weapon. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. This means rolling more ammo dice will risk damaging your firearm, but only when you push the roll. It's just like everything. Normal attack. Do you know how quickly weapons would break? Okay, it would be an M6. It would. Okay, I could see it with an M16. But how quickly weapons would break if that rule wasn't in place only for pushing? It's only for pushing the rule.
Yep.
Otherwise, you'd have to have like 17 guns on you in order to get through one firefight. If your weapon breaks due to pushing, it does so after the current attack is resolved. And read more about that on page 91. Weapon jam. If you roll 2 or more explodies on your base dice or ammo dice after pushing, your weapon jams immediately after resolving the attack. Any ammo successes or base successes still apply. In addition to the reduced reliability, stop. Until the jam is cleared, the weapon cannot be fired. Clearing a jam is a slow action and requires a skill roll, slap, tap, rap, for the weapon, either ranged combat or heavy weapons. Multiple attempts are allowed because normally you can't re-roll, you know. So yeah, that just adds more stress to your combat situation. And to be fair, I think a slow action fits for that. Shouldn't take 17 rounds to clear a jam unless you fail. That's why you make the roll. Here we go. Fun part.
Okay.
After you roll, you sum up the D6 digits on all of your ammo dice. Can you do me a favor right now and roll me 3d6?
Sure. Okay.
What'd you get?
442.
Perfect. That's perfect. I didn't want any 6s or 1s. Keep those dice right there for now.
Okay.
This is the sum total of the amount of ammunition you have spent on the attack. You just spent 10 rounds.
Okay.
If the sum of your ammo dice is equal to or more than the number of rounds you have left in the magazine, your magazine is completely emptied. So if you're in California, you just emptied your weapon.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Reloading.
All right, I can see that. I can actually see that. That's fine.
Damn it, I was wrong.
Yeah, I thought
you were going to complain about that.
No. I looking at it a different way, I could say that no, each of these extra ammo dice is 1 extra round, right? So it should be that. But no one can be that precise with full auto. You can't count your bullets beforehand and say, I'm only going to shoot 6 bullets with my fully automatic machine gun. That's not going to happen. That's unrealistic to expect you be able to do that. So this thing is a good workaround to be more realistic. I can dig it.
I'm on page 68. I just need to remember that. Okay, so let's do this. All right. Rate of fire for this P83 is 2. So that means you can roll 2 ammo dice, right?
Sure.
It has magazine size of 8. So just for the argument, remove your 2 and just keep your 2 4s.
Okay.
You just used up all of your ammunition on one attack. This isn't a fully automatic. This is semi-automatic.
Yeah, see, that one I have a problem with because semi-automatic, you do have control over how many bullets you put downrange. You have precise control because you have to pull the trigger each damn time. So, yeah, I don't get that one. But for a fully automatic weapon in fully automatic mode, I completely get this idea. I completely understand.
So, I'm okay with it for civilians. And when I say civilians, I mean like
untrained.
Yeah, untrained.
For an untrained person, just go, bang, 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 bang. Okay, fine. They have absolutely no, control.
Self-control.
Yeah. So they're just firing panicked. I get it. But if you have the skill to fire a weapon and it's a semi-automatic weapon, you will fire as many rounds as you want to. You will not fire more. You will not fire less. But fully automatic weapon, there's no way to be precise. So
the problem with that comes into maintaining game coherency. So let's say you're telling me you've got that 8 shooter, right?
Yep.
And you're like, I'm going to shoot 4 rounds, which a role player is going to do. I'm going to go, or we were taught 3, right? Pop, pop, pop.
Yeah.
Okay. How many ammo dice do you add to that?
Firing 3, that would be 2.
But then why does the person using full auto and a machine gun have to waste 12 rounds for basically the same action or same potential damage? So what this is mimicking, you know, people complain all the time about Palladium Book's wildfire rules, which aren't realistic necessarily, but make for good cinematic action. That's how I see this. There's really no way that you can put in a game mechanic system that maintains the stress, that allows you to count your rounds and increase the damage in a manner that is fair across the board. Like I said, the Palladium one does it a completely different way, and people complain about it all the time, but it does it for cinematic purposes. This one does it for the purposes of keeping the rules coherent and consistent. Because I agree with you, generally speaking.
Well, then, hang on. To keep the rules clear and consistent, this is what I would change. If your weapon is not fully automatic, your rate of fire is 0. You do not get to add ammo dice. That's what I would do.
So you're just shooting 1 round every time? You can't do any 3 taps?
Yeah, I mean, if I have a 6-shooter, bang. Because firing is a slow action, right? So 1 shot, there you go. But if I have a reactive trigger on my semi-automatic where you press once, you fire twice, great, do that. Or fully automatic weapon, yeah, then you can roll ammo dice. But
so I'm at the range. I'm not trying to get all competition shooter stuff. That's nonsense. I'm at the range though. I practice triple tapping. Okay, that's what I practice. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
How do we mimic that in the game?
It's not supported in the rules.
Okay. So that's what I'm putting out there for folks. I don't mind I don't mind the rule. I think it's a bit excessive, but I understand it for coherency and consistency's sake. And I would rather have the ability to triple tap than have to shoot 1 per round. So,
but the thing is, I want a triple tap. Then why'd you fire 8 times?
Yeah, no, I get it. I understand.
The way they have it doesn't make sense. Semi-automatic and lower, rate of fire 0. You cannot add ammo dice. I would serve that only for things that go full auto. You can take advantage of ammo dice at that point. That's what I would do in my game to just eliminate the problem.
What I would do, and I don't even know if this would work. This is just theory crafting right now. Is coolness under fire roll.
That's a good one. That is a good one. Yeah, I mean, if you fail your coolness under fire, you just started pulling triggers, and you lost count. Maybe work. Okay, I can see
it still breaks though, because somebody it still breaks the concept of though if I'm rolling if I'm making 3 shots, theoretically. Yeah, I could walk that fire to 3 targets. Theoretically, I could put all 3 into 1 target. Theoretically, all that. I mean, I got the targets to prove it. Mm-hmm. But how do you handle that with terms of damage when everybody else is using up way more rounds than that? It's just, that's the problem.
Like I said, just removing rate of fire from things that aren't fully auto solves the problem.
You make a lot of people who use firearms angry, but yeah, I get it.
No. In this game, pulling the trigger is a slow action. Mm-hmm. Technically, firing your weapon is a slow action. Now, if you have a fully automatic weapon, you're pulling the trigger 1 time and holding it down, and you fire more bullets. You still only performed 1 action, but with a semi-automatic weapon, you pull the trigger 1 time and hold it down. Guess what happens? Nothing. You don't fire more bullets. You have to pull the trigger again. Guess what? Another slow action. So by the rules, it makes sense to remove rate of fire unless you have a fully automatic weapon.
Well, I'm just going to say that I think that the rule in this game, while certainly not perfect in any way, shape, or form, is the best balance that they could come up with. And I get it, because I would rather be able to triple tap than be able told that I'm only allowed to shoot 1 bullet per round. That's But I
But you
also
know,
get,
I
get
would
where
I
you're
would
coming from
also be
scaling.
angry that's when I said I want a triple tap and I fired 8 rounds. I would be angry at that too.
Yeah, as a role player, not a war gamer, I would just say, oh, apparently I lost my coolness under fire roll for that. Yeah, I mean the game's not perfect. I mean that's true, and most games can't. I won't say aren't. I'm just gonna say can't be perfect when it comes to firearms. So they have to make concessions here, there, everywhere. But as the referee at your table, remember, you ultimately have the final authority, just as long as it's clear for everybody across the board. We're
And
showing you where some of these weaknesses might be and where you might want to fix it. Or you might just be happy the way it is. Just play the dumb game. Who cares? Move on. I get you. I get you. Let's go into reloading now, though. Once your magazine is depleted, you need to reload your weapon.
Sure.
Roll for ranged combat. If you succeed, reloading is a fast action. If you fail, it's a slow action. You're kind of fumbling around, getting in there.
You either John Wick it or Joe Schmo it.
There you go.
That's pretty much it.
You may attempt to reload even if you only have a fast action left in the round, but if you fail the roll,
nothing happens. Yeah, you lost it.
You're still fumbling around with it. The roll itself is not an action. It's just seeing if you...
Oh, okay. So if you only have a fast action left and you roll range combat to reload as a fast action, if you fail the roll itself is not an action. So you still have a fast action left. You just can't use it to reload. That's what I heard.
No. The roll is not... It's not saying... The roll is not an action. The action's an action. The roll isn't an action.
The problem is if you only have a fast action left and you fail the roll, you can't perform that action.
So okay,
but you
so
also
let's
didn't lose your fast action because the roll is not an action.
You may attempt to reload even if you only have fast actions around, but if you fail to roll, the action is forfeit. The roll itself is not an action.
I thought not reading it again. I thought like your reload is forfeit. No, your action is forfeit.
Yeah.
So
I don't know why this sentence needs to be in here, unless honestly, I'm going to say something weird here. Unless you were right in the first case, this sentence is not needed.
No, it is needed. It is needed. Here's the reasoning. If you only have a fast action left and you roll to see if you can reload as a fast action, if the roll is an action, that was your last action. You have nothing left. So you can't reload anyway. But if you say the roll to check if you can reload as a fast action is not an action, you can still use your fast action to reload. If you fail, it says you lose your fast action.
Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying. I still don't think it's necessary because I think that's implied, but I get it.
Yeah.
To me, that sentence actually causes more heartburn than not having it. But tracking ammo, you must always keep careful track of how much ammo you have in your magazine or belt and how many magazines or ammo belts you carry. Mark down ammo spent in the current magazine or belt using tally marks or digits on the character sheet. When you reload, erase and start over. Note how many full magazines and ammo belts you have in your inventory. A magazine weighs 1/4 of an encumbrance unit, while an ammo belt is 1 full unit. When you reload, erase the spent magazine or belt from your inventory. Again, somebody might claim that that's heavy. I mean, this is full of 45 ammo. Doesn't feel like it should be a quarter of a... I mean, here's another one full of 45 ammo. It doesn't really feel like it needs to be an encumbrance unit, but they're also not light at the same time. Yeah. So
and plus, the game would become unwieldy if you started doing 1/8 of an encumbrance unit or garbage like that.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah. This is just for ease of play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Heavy weapons such as RPGs, grenade launchers, mortars, and howitzers don't use ammo dice. Each attack consumes 1 round of ammo. Well, okay, sure. Yeah, makes
sense.
Bows and thrown weapons don't give you ammo dice. Oh, each time you mean I can't have a repeating bow? Each time you shoot a bow. Oh, let's bring my D&D into... each time you shoot a bow, 1 arrow or thrown weapon is used. You can retrieve... Have they not seen the Olympics? It's not the Olympics. Where is it? Those trick shooters that shoot like 5 arrows at one time? The hell? That's realistic, right? You can retrieve them from the target. Requires a slow action and a medical aid roll. Failure inflicts 1 point of damage to the victim. What if you don't care?
What if, I'm not rolling. If I shot him, I don't like him. I don't care if he's hurt or not. I'm not bothering the roll. It's going to inflict 1 damage. Suck it, chump. If he's still alive, I failed.
Or you can pick it up from the ground to the target hex if you missed as a fast action. Bows don't need reloading, but before you fire a bow, you need to prepare the bow by knocking the arrow. Basically, it's just a terminology thing is what they're doing here.
Yeah.
This is a fast action. After you've prepared a bow, you can't perform any action other than to aim, another fast action, or shoot, which is a slow action. If you do, you'll need to prepare the bow again. Crossbows are reloaded like firearms. Thrown weapons don't need to be prepared for an attack, and you just roll mobility for the attack. Sure. We're not going to get into NPCs. All right, suppression. I think this is the last thing for today. Yes, because we're going to do explosions next week. Why not this? Hold on, let me make sure. Explosions are next week. So this last thing, and then I got a slideshow for you.
Suppressing fire, I love it.
Yeah.
Now, hang on. Okay, no, I'm going to see. Like, so suppressing fire in my mind should be a fully automatic weapon only, but let's see what they do.
Okay. If you are hit by enemy fire, even if the damage is fully deflected by armor or cover, or if 1 or more ammo dice in a failed attack against you show a bullet, you must immediately make a coolness under fire roll. Okay. Roll 1 base die for your current coolness under fire rating. If you have line of sight to any non-incapacitated friendly fighter, also roll a base die for the current unit morale rating of your unit.
Okay.
Now that's a pretty weird sentence there, but the point is if you're also seeing people that are getting blown up next to you, you
have a feeling of camaraderie, and your unit cohesiveness plays a factor in keeping your wits about you.
Yes, not watching them bleed out, but actually watching them go get some.
Yeah.
The coolness under fire roll does not count as an action, as it's not a skill roll. You cannot push coolness under fire if you fail. You can't really try to avoid shell shock.
No, you either do or you don't. That's pretty much it.
Only firearms, heavy weapons, and explosions can trigger suppression, not close combat attacks or attacks with bows and thrown weapons. Really?
What, bow? Come on. Well, okay, fine.
If your coolness under fire roll, I mean, if somebody's throwing large or even small metal objects at me, I might want to duck my head. I'm just saying. If your coolness under fire roll fails, you are suppressed. This means that you immediately drop prone, suffer 1 point of stress, and lose both actions on your next turn. Doesn't say for 50 turns, just your next turn. To indicate that you are suppressed, place a suppressed marker on. Oh, I should show that.
Yeah, we saw it. It's the down arrow with a line to the ground.
Okay. To indicate that you're suppressed, place a suppressed marker on your token on the battle map. After your next turn, you are no longer suppressed. Remove the marker.
Unless you are suppressed again while you are being suppressed.
Sure. Panic spreads. If you fail a coolness under fire roll and get suppressed, all friendly fighters in the same hex as you must also make that, because they see you've been a chicken and now they want to be chickens.
Yep.
Paranoia spreads. Also make a coolness under fire rolls to avoid suppression as well. However, a single attack can only trigger 1 coolness under fire roll for the same person, never several rolls.
Okay.
Vehicles. A target fully inside a vehicle cannot be suppressed, but it can be forced to bail out. And we'll get to that on page 84. 2 weeks, I think. So, and then it goes into an example here of the coolness under fire rolls.
Okay.
So
I understand where they're coming from, but it did say that you must have used ammo dice, right? No. If you are hit by enemy fire, or if 1 or more ammo dice in a failed attack against you show a 6, which is the bullet.
Right. So if you try to shoot me, okay, and you miss on your base dice, but your ammo dice show the bullets, I'm suppressed. Oh, I have to roll coolness under fire to be suppressed.
Roll coolness under fire and possibly be suppressed. So you either hit or scared to get down prone. So, okay, I can see that, but with my modified rate of fire rule, only a fully automatic weapon can suppress you unless if you're not hit. So I can live with that. I can live with this. This is fine.
I mean, I've seen pistol suppress people, so but
Yeah,
I get it with your rule change.
There's little bitches. There you go.
Okay. All right, now we're going to go into the fun part. We're going to talk about some line of sight. So here are battle maps for the game. And we are not going to, I'm not going to spend much time on the battle maps. I just want to show what they look like for folks. Okay.
Sure.
And the reason I'm showing this also is because the maps that I created for simplicity's sakes are literally just filled in hexes. You can see here, and to be fair, they kind of are, but actually these are pretty well done. They mostly are filled in hexes. Now the road might be a little different here, but that's fine. Mine are going to look like in this area where it's kind of going, it's going to look more jaggedy, where it turns.
Fine. Okay.
So,
go, please enlighten us about line of sight.
All right. Whoop, that's not the right one. I want to do this one first. All right. So we're going to start at the beginning. We're going to talk about forest. Now, what does forest do? Forest is visibility of 3. That means you can see, you cannot see through more than 3 of them. Okay. So 3 plus somebody, which we'll show in the chart here in a second.
3 forests either in a row or in a line. Even if there's breaks in between, you can't see through the 3rd forest.
Can't see through it. Correct.
Okay.
You can see into it though.
Sure.
Range attack suffer -1, movements -1, cover yes 2, infiltration. We won't be dealing a lot with these numbers, but in case I had to reference them, I put them there. Mm-hmm.
Do the range attack and do the range attack modifiers stack with the number of forests that are in your way?
No.
That's weird, but okay. All right.
Well, at least from what I've read, no. Okay.
It seems strange, but okay.
It seems strange to me as well, but I can also justify it another way. If it is a yes, well, we read the rules today. Did you see anything in the rules that it just gave a number? It didn't say per hex.
No.
Okay. So we got our devil dog here, shooting some clown down here. Every one of these is devil dog up here, shooting clown down here. All right, let's see if I can get that on the screen a little better. There we go. This is pure, by the way, the yellow just means open, prairie, plain, whatever you want to call it. So
pavement, prairie, whatever. It's no modifier.
Why? Yeah. Why did it? There we go. So it has line of sight. And all I was worried about was line of sight. Has line of sight there. Now we've got one small forest, one of these 4 clumps of 4 trees right here.
Yep.
In the way. Still has line of sight.
Sure.
Now we have 2 of them. Still has line of sight. We now have 3 of them. Why is this blocked?
Because you can only see through 3. You can in that 3rd forest, you can see anything in that 3rd forest, but because there's 3 forests, you can't see anything after.
Right. I probably should have put these 2 in the other order. I don't know why I didn't, because I should have done this one first. Because this one, Devil Dog can see some clown down here.
Because he's not outside the 3rd, he's in the 3rd. Now
it says line of sight, but I put this -1 down here. Do you know why it's -1?
And the other ones aren't? I do not know.
So line of sight is intervening terrain.
Sure.
Modifier to fire is terrain you are in.
That seems weird. It seems shooting through a terrain with a ranged attack modifier would also count.
If it does, the game doesn't say that, because I actually agree with that.
Yeah. It seems weird that shooting into something that has a minus modifier is different than shooting through. If you guys know where the rule is
for that, if we're wrong, if we read line of sight last week, and we've read range combat this week. If we are wrong, if it is actually every single hex, please tell me what page that is on. Because
that would be interesting to know.
Yeah, because it might be like armor, where it's in an example, and I have not read every example in the book. I accidentally found armor in the example. Like, that wasn't an intentional thing. Where's the rule for it? So I'm going to go with what I've read so far, which says that this is just a -1. not a -3. Also understand what a -3 would mean to pretty much anybody shooting that wasn't, alpha, right? If somebody was Charlie, so 2d8s, -3 basically means roll that d6. Good luck. So I mean, it's a tough one. Up here, I just reversed it. We have a line of sight. Why is there no -1?
Because the rules don't have minuses for shooting through, only shooting to.
Right, and this guy here is not,
which is ridiculous in my opinion. But okay.
And then up here, I put him back in the woods. Same thing. Now, why can we shoot him? We got 4 woods here. Why can we shoot him?
Because your hex doesn't count for the visibility,
and neither does his hex. By the way, as a BattleTech player, this breaks my mind on some things because I always want to count the hex that the person is in. All right, so that's just forest. Now we're going to get into some foliage stuff. Now, what is foliage? Visibility is 1. Range attack -2, so that's going to be a -2. I think I put it. I might have screwed up. Oh, no, I didn't. Good. I didn't remember doing the 2s. Movement's -3. What that means is in order to move further, you have to roll with a mobility roll with a -3 in order to move hex further. Cover is no. This is the issue I have, but we'll get into that later. And infiltration is +2. Remember, when you're making your recon rolls, the person trying to sneak is the one that gets the bonus in this case because he's trying to sneak. And he's using foliage as his cover right now. So it's an opposed roll. He would get a +2. All right, so here we are back at the beginning. We got our devil dog shooting some clown down here again. And you're in foliage. You're in that hedgerow. Okay, devil dog can see down this way, right?
Yeah.
Because this dude's just walking in the open. Can this guy see the devil dog?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm using bad language here.
Yeah, I don't think this is classic sniper taking cover in a hide. The devil dog is the sniper and the clown is the target. I don't believe that the clown should be able to see the devil dog, but by the rules, he's in the hex, therefore the visibility modifier does not apply.
Okay. So you're making the same mistake that I am in terms of language used. I said I was using bad language. He has line of sight, yes, but there's no guarantee that he sees him. He still has to, well, I shouldn't say has to, it depends on the situation, but for the sake of our argument, he's probably hiding in here, right? Because you said he's a sniper.
Yeah.
This dude would have to make a recon roll.
And unless there was a reason for him to make that roll, he wouldn't do it. So until the devil dog sniper shoots, there's no reason. You can do a
passive roll. Passive roll is difficult, but
yeah, you're probably not going to do it, but whatever.
Right. So that's up to the referee. And,
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's the thing I want to make clear. This doesn't guarantee, and now we're supposed to be doing from top to bottom, not bottom to up, but just for sake of moving on. This doesn't mean that the clown automatically sees the devil dog. It just means that the clown has the possibility to see the devil dog.
Got it.
Now, devil dog's in foliage again, shooting through one. Remember, look at that spacing there. There's a lot of gaps in there to see through.
I see. I get well, no. This is foliage. There's not a lot of gaps.
This right here that I'm hovering, where my mouse is.
Oh, that one, yeah. The light forest. We'll call that light forest. Is but you can see through 3 of those, or see 3 of those. There's only one, and even though the devil dog is in a heavy forest, he's in it, not trying to go through it, so it doesn't count.
So I put this up on the screen before, but I'm going to do it again. Ignore my modifier numbers. According to the forums, again, the book doesn't say that well. The book should say this. Maybe in an updated printing, this should come out. Train R per hex and should stack. That makes much more sense to me, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, that was one of my big problems with this.
That's not how it's written in the book.
No.
So, all right, now let's move over to here. So, devil dog's up here. Devil dog's in the open, but got intervening lightwood. Not BattleTech. Forest, another intervening forest, and this weirdo is down here. But just for the sake of argument, we'll say he made his roll to see him because he's looking. This devil dog's always alert, always looking around. And so he actually can see this weirdo sitting in the foliage because, he's wearing clown makeup. Well, it wouldn't be -2 now, it'd be -4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
But wait. The modifier for sight doesn't count if you're in the hex. But the modifier for to hit does count?
Yes. Line of sight is not blocked. Line of sight is intervening terrain. I wish it would have used that word. Is intervening terrain. Actual making the attack is, well, it's in the book, it says the hex that you're in, but apparently the forums say the hex that you're in plus the intervening terrain.
Okay.
Which
so
absolutely does make more sense to me.
Yeah. So technically it's -2, but yeah,
-2,
it's the hex he is in, and that's it.
And then, according to the Free League forums, -1 more and -1 more for the
more. So you total -4. Right.
Right. So again, my numbers down here are by what I read in the book, not by what was on the forum. So, and I think the forums are correct in this case. Now we have them both. There's a little plain in the middle here, a little light wood in the way. Forest in the way, and they're both sitting in foliage. So again, it would be -4, not -2. But why would it be, if this one here is -4, why would this one also be -4?
Well, no. So stop saying the forum way. Let's just do the book way.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It should be -4 for the fourth one, and -2 for the third one, going by the book, because the hex you're in as the shooter
doesn't count.
So it should be just
2
-2.
Yeah, that's what I have.
And okay.
So you have line of sight.
Yeah, but why does the hex you're in not count, but the hex he's in does fully count?
So if you're sitting in a hedgerow and you're looking through it and you're aimed down range, those trees don't block what you're doing. You're going to make sure that you're in a position that you can see.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. All right.
Now, the other thing that I want to put out here that I want people to remove from their brains is, and I'm surprised Heathen Dog hasn't brought this up yet. I'm kind of glad he hasn't, but I'm surprised he hasn't. Is wait, hold on. You're telling me you're not standing behind a tree? You're not. Those are cover mechanics. Remember, line of sight is separate from range. It's separate from your attack roll. It's separate from cover. Mm-hmm. All of those things compiled together actually start to make sense. When you take them by themselves, okay, you got a devil dog. Let's just use what Heathen Dog was saying right now. You got this devil dog up here in this foliage. Why doesn't he suffer? Wait a second. Maybe he does. We're not talking cover. Maybe this devil dog up here was smart enough to actually take cover. We're not talking about that. We're literally just talking about two facets. We're talking about line of sight and what the modifiers are to hit, which are apparently wrong. That's it. Okay. So, and by the way, I'm not saying this Heathen Dog. I'm saying to all the folks out there that might be thinking, well, what about cover? What about this? What about those?
We're not there. We're not there.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to get there either. I'm intentionally not going to get there. Just remember, those add modifiers that make it more difficult for the shooting and the spotting. Okay, so we have the devil dog up here, and this guy and the clown down here. Line of sight from the book reading is -1. Line of sight for the forum reading would be -3. Okay. Now, why is this one blocked? They're both in clearing.
Because you can't see through the foliage or dense forest. You can't see through it. You can see into it, but you can't see through it.
Okay, exactly right. And this last one here, wait a minute, this weirdo down. Go ahead.
Yep. That's because there are 3 light forested hex in a row. You cannot see through 3 light forested hex. Now, the fact that the clown is inside of a dense forest makes no difference whatsoever. After those 3 lightly forested hexes, it doesn't matter where the clown is sitting. He could have a sign. He could be flowing his hands around like he's selling used cars. It doesn't matter. You're not going to see him through the 3 lightly forested hexes.
No, it's arbitrarily safe. Let's just use your imagination here for a moment. I guess we could use one of these other ones, but let's use your imagination for a moment. Let's just say there's two light forests, two yellow, so two plains, and he's in this one down here. What would the modifier be going with the forums?
By the forums, that would be -2. Because you're going through 2 lightly forested hexes, -1, -1.
Yep.
Oh no, I'm sorry. And into him, so it's another -2, so it's -4. Okay,
boom, you got it.
Yep.
You got it.
Yep.
You got it.
But according to the book, that would be -3.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, I was actually supposed to do this. Now I know why I had those things in another. This is going to come to play in a moment. I did this in the wrong order. I had it in the right order, and then I superseded myself. All right, so I've spent some time walking. Let's full screen this bad boy. Nope, it's not F11 anymore. It's a slideshow. Boom. There we go. All right, so I spent some time walking around some woods, various woods of various types. This first, there you go. So how far can you see in a random forest? Because as Heathen Dog mentioned before, if you heard or watched our video last week, we had, we'll just say we had a discussion about what you can see and what you can't see. Now, this had to be put in. Rodney Abadi made a perfect comment on one of the YouTube comments, which is like, we have to use the game term for this. So I added this little comment, as the term is defined in the game.
Okay.
So this first one here, this is to set the stage for something. So I spotted a deer. Just looking at the left picture, can you see the deer?
No.
Okay, neither can I. I actually zoomed way in on that picture itself to find the pixels of the deer, and I saw something that looked like a pile of leaves. So, no.
Doesn't look like a deer.
So I spotted a deer, took the picture. The camera does not appear to show it. But I also took one at 4x zoom on my camera, and now you can see the deer.
Sort of.
Well, for you guys, it's sort of, yeah, I get it, yeah. But that is deer. Oh, dude, if I was like a half a second sooner, it was looking at me, but it turned away there. But I can actually see its little ears right here. There's its main body. Anyway, so, and using Google Maps, it's about 140 meters away. So the point is the camera doesn't catch as much as the eye. And if my wife had complained about that one more time when we were walking through the woods yesterday, I would have pushed her off a cliff. There wasn't a cliff there, but I would have done it. I can see you, but the camera can't. Okay. Just note, that is going to be an issue going forward. So this is where I was supposed to show the devil dog versus the clown. All right, so here's an overview of a small area. Now, what do I have on here? Just a clump of trees. This is Google Maps. And you probably can't see it down here, but it says 33.23 meters. So that's 3 hexes, right?
Sure.
Why is my line not fully across? Well, I'm going to explain that in a moment. The next picture will show. What's that?
Center of the hex to center of the hex, right?
Well, it's not about hexes at this point. It's about where do the trees actually start?
Oh,
okay. The canopy of trees is not the same as the ground of trees.
Right. So seeing through this patch of forest would be easier from the ground because you're seeing through trunks and not through foliage.
Right now, if you were just to guess right now, what do you think the visibility would be? Just seeing what you're seeing right here.
Looking at this, I would say it's dense forest to be 1.
Okay. That's what it actually is.
Okay. Now I would say that this is a park. This would be light forest.
Or in the game, just the game term forest.
Yeah.
Right. And by the way, I actually think, because I walk by here quite a bit, I actually think that's more than 30 meters, but we're going to go with the 30 meters because I can't go in there. As you can see, there's a fence. Okay. Can you see, if somebody were on the other side of those trees, do you think you could see somebody that's just walking on the other side of the trees? That's it. That's all you need is somebody walking.
I mean, you'd lose sight of them sporadically as they walk through, you know. They'd be behind cover, not. But
let's go one step further. Let's build this up, because you're right. You're 100% right. And there was nobody there at this point, but I have seen people on the other side of that. Mm-hmm. Hold on, I got to remember. Okay, so we've got the woods themselves. You can see through 3. Now this is 3. I can actually see through past 3 hexes of forest. Could somebody take cover and make it so that I can't see them?
Oh yeah.
Could somebody try to hide?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that's where the game goes into the roles for recon. So one of the things I wrote back to Ron is I said, well, if I really wanted to argue this, I would actually say that the game rules are too strict, because that's a forest right there, and there are more than 4 trees in a 10-meter area, and I can see through that. But we're not done yet. Now this goes the other direction. Same spot. It goes the other direction. This says it's 42.92 meters, so 4 hexes, 40 meters, right? Going this way. That's what it looks like. Now, in case let's go back here. What you're seeing, this stuff right here, that you see my mouse wiggling over, is actually this area right here.
See that basically clear as day. I mean, if the fence wasn't there, I would be able. I'd say I could see that clear as day.
But all of those are forest hexes. So we had a commenter on there say, "Oh, you can't see through. You can't see through 30 meters of woods." Yes, you can. Now, is this every forest? No, and I understand that. So we got more. My wife and I went stomping around a nature park yesterday. Okay. So, and I'm going to say this out loud. Twilight 2000's use of the term forest is a generic term to apply to conditions and modifiers for a game, not to provide legal guidance to the National Park Service. So keep your dictionary definitions where they need to be in the dictionary, because I'm going to have some comments where I absolutely agree with people who are like, what? You can't see. Okay, this is 1 hex in front of me, 2 hexes of woods, and 1 hex of open, and then a river. Sorry about the picture quality. I was walking. It's about 40 meters and then a river. Can you see the river behind the trees?
Technically, yeah, but I wouldn't be able to.
That whitish area is the river.
Yeah. Technically, yes, but I wouldn't be able to pick anything out. You
could see a person swimming. I promise you can see an alligator swimming. Ask me how I know.
All right.
Now, but you're going to say, hey, that's only 2 hexes of forest. I know. I'm just setting some baselines. Okay, on the right-hand side there, it is 66 steps from the first tree to the last tree in that copse of trees. And I estimate it to be about 55 meters, because while my step is about a yard is lower than a meter, and I don't do an exact full yard. I'm like an inch or 2 short of a yard. So I just figured 55 meters. I didn't want to over-exaggerate these things, okay? I could see somebody that was just kind of walking or meandering, and that would be 5 hexes. Well, you could argue 6 hexes. Okay?
Yep.
On the right-hand side, I walked 35 paces into the woods. My wife says I was much, much easier to see with her eyes than with the camera. And this is true for all the pictures. I didn't say it for literally every picture out there. That circle is me. Now you'd be like, how do you know it's you? Because I was wearing brown intentionally. I wore brown shorts, brown shirt, a hat, and my brown shoes for this. It's about 30 meters. It might be a touch shy of 30 meters, but it's about 30 meters. I started running in too many spider webs, and I was wearing shorts, which you'll see later. The point is not this, that you can identify my head, and if I had been moving, if you could see me moving, you'd be able to see. It's just the concept, no other concept than, yes, you can see that far. I wasn't taking cover. You can see. That's all that matters, is that you can see that far. Okay? It's about 35 paces into the woods. Again, you might argue, well, how do you know that's you? Because I know the pictures. And I was wearing brown. My wife was actually kind of angry that I wore brown, by the way. She's like, I can't find you in the camera. She could see me. She had 0 issues. In fact, she was bitching about the
camera. Okay, I got it. I got it. Yeah. Seeing this picture, like you're circling nothing.
Right?
Yeah. In the picture, it looks like nothing.
So now the right one, you should be able to see me over here. That's pretty easy.
I see you in the little bit center and a little bit down from middle of the rectangular picture.
Yep, she did a pretty good job of doing her thirds.
Yeah. I see you, but if you weren't moving, I may not immediately
opposed recon roll. That's what it would be. It'd be a recon or a passive recon roll.
Yeah, it would have to be a passive recon roll that I couldn't push. Then I could identify you as a person. I could see that. But in the picture on the left, just looking at the picture and not real life, I wouldn't even give me a roll.
That's why I had that disclaimer with the deer up front.
Yeah, I wouldn't even give a character a roll if this was what they were looking at. Like, no.
Believe me, though, she could see me, and I've got some video. The video doesn't really help. Honestly, the video doesn't help much. We had 3 different cameras that we were using too. I walked 40 paces into the wood, had to use a 4x zoom. And that's of the previous slide where Heathen Dog said, I couldn't see you there. This is my short. You can see my
identify you as a human being. I mean,
you don't need to identify me necessarily as a human being. Again, if I'm moving my arms, which I was, you could see me. If I was just walking through the woods, you could see me. Potentially, not guaranteed. There is a role involved. The idea is that you could possibly see me. Okay.
Okay.
I was pretty careful about my steps when I was doing this, guys. So just to let you all know. Now this one should be pretty easy to see me. I actually have my arms out.
Yeah, I mean, now that you tell me you're there and your arms are out, I can see you. But if not for that red circle, I could easily miss that.
Right. And both answers are true. You could miss it. That's why there's a recon roll. But you can also see. The only thing that I'm doing here is showing the people say there's no way you can see through 30 meters of woods.
Yes, there is.
Okay, walk 45 paces in the woods. Always, my wife said she could see. I don't have too many more of these, by the way. She could not see me on camera at all. She kept looking over and up. She said, "I don't know. You're right there. I know." She actually had me in frame, but I was there. This is 4x zoom, and I think this is the last one. You can see me standing right there. All right, now I have a video. It's 3 minutes and 23 seconds, and then we will basically be done with this.
Okay.
So let me show the video. And this is our trip to the woods and a bonus. Hopefully I did this with audio. Tell me if you can hear it.
Audio is good.
Now you can see, if you're looking closely, you can see me moving behind the trees right there. And I stopped there, and now I'm coming back. And you'll see the number change here in a moment. I wanted to get deeper into the woods, but they did not like the fact that I was going off the paths, by the way. They did not like that at all. So now we're at 25 meters. I was hoping to get further, but I had to stop. Again, somebody moving, if you have any peripheral whatsoever, you can see that.
With your eyes, but with the camera, there are times when you're absolutely invisible.
Oh, to be fair, I was walking behind some trees, yeah. Okay. Hopefully you can see her on the bridge. Yep, she's walking. There she is on the bridge. Now she's easy to see. Go ahead, stop. Okay, you can see her waving. You can kind of behind a tree. Now I'm going to walk a little bit. The point is I might not have the clearest shot in the world, but I can identify that somebody is there, potentially. Now, would it require active perception over passive
Ignore
perception?
this commentary right here.
Yes.
I think I said it backward.
But would I need a recon roll? Maybe. But the point is,
definitely. I can tell you right now, by the rules of the game, I have no recon skill.
Is it as forested as?
Because I can't find her.
Really not. Is it jungle? No.
Yeah.
Again, I think the game should have forest and dense forest nomenclature. But the point is, based on just the term forest that the game uses, we can see her. And I'm going to find out how many steps it is for her, because I'm not counting mine when she gets there. All right, how many steps did you take? 97. So 97. You also turned. So I would say it's probably 40 to 50 meters. Because I was up there.
Roughly 50 meters.
What's that?
Roughly 50 meters.
Roughly 50 meters? Okay, well, you know meters better than I do. So straight from here to up there. Hopefully the sun doesn't have you blinded here. Now, these would be foliage hexes, right? Can't really see more than 10 meters in. Now, this is why I wish that Twilight 2000 had a dense forest. Something that provided both cover.
That right there would be dense. If you're in that, I'm not seeing it.
Through one hex, right? Or into one hex, not even through it. through 1 hex would block you.
If someone was just maybe 3 to 5 steps inside that, they're gone.
All right, that's the video. Now, why did I put that last one in there? Because what you can't see by this H down here is my robot is down there getting drowned. And I had to run out there.
Yep.
And you saw those trees, right?
Yep.
This is the storm that destroyed my gazebo.
Yep.
Way down this road was somebody's trash can bouncing down the road. It's at a house that if you actually look at Google Maps right now, it shows it's an open field. No, there's a house there now. I ranged that. It was 180 meters. I can see 100, might not be the 200, but I can see the 180 meters. And this is not a normal freaking storm. This was some stuff that was crazy, dude. So I wanted to put that all out there for people. I don't agree with every number in the game. I don't agree with every rule in the game. I don't agree that I can take this off the screen now. I don't agree. I really do believe that, and I got some notes here that I actually I'll just say about it so I can say it better. What I would do is, you remember, forest is cover with an armor rating of 2, right? Foliage is cover but no armor rating. For me, forest, then there should be dense forest that would be the same as foliage for line of sight, but provide an armor rating of 2 or 3 for cover.
Yeah,
now,
there's a lot of wood in the way. There's
Right.
a lot of trunks. Yeah.
And as a game master, or sorry, referee, I think you should do that. I was just pointing this stuff out here because there's a lot of pushback against how far somebody thinks they can see and so forth. And maybe I do. Maybe these Hubble telescopes on my eyes really do help me out. But apparently I can see a lot more than some other people can.
Last week after our show with the whole heavy rain and dense fog thing, I actually Google searched all of the studies I could find, and I found 3. The most detailed one was 3 universities, one in China, one in India, and one somewhere else in Asia, that pooled together, and they tested all these different visibility ranges in all different conditions.
Okay.
China's was mostly like smog and stuff because they got to deal with all of that. But the one in India had a lot of rain stuff, and they defined heavy rain as 7.5 millimeters or more of rainfall in an hour.
That's it?
That was it. And they came up with useful visibility of 90 meters. Now, they defined useful as being able to identify something. That is a person, that is a car, that is a box, that is whatever. But what was it? It was 150 meters or more in that, what they call heavy rain, means you can see something move, but it is unidentifiable.
I absolutely
Unless
knew
you already know what it is, it's unidentifiable.
Okay, that part is fair. I mean, I knew it wasn't a person because it was kind of bouncing and rolling across the road. Obviously, I knew that it was his garbage container. Which
their whole study was also stationary target, a stationary thing.
Sure.
So if that wasn't bouncing around, you wouldn't know it was a garbage can.
Right, and again, that's when I go back to things like cover. Things like recon rolls, and if something is just standing there and you have no reason if you have no reason to be put off by something, 100% agree. I was only putting this out here for the purposes of, can you see? And I absolutely could identify that it was the trash container. It was sliding, rolling across the street. I did not take picture of that because I didn't have my camera on me when I went outside. But yes, I would 100% agree with you on the whole idea of something that just seems there. Like, here, let me bring this up. Can I see into my neighbor's window? Just as an example, share screen. Just do it that way. I don't need audio anymore. Can I see into my neighbor's window?
I can't see shit. Into, I can see a window, but I can't see into it.
Right. I mean, maybe if I saw the curtains move or something.
Maybe you could identify movement, but you still wouldn't be able to identify what's actually causing the movement. What is the movement? I wouldn't know.
I would say that's a recon roll because I would beg to differ. I think I could identify if it was one of their kids or an adult or the cat. Well, I might not see the cat so much, but a ghost.
Okay. Now here's the big one. Now you and I both already agree with this. The game says dense fog, you can see up to 100 meters. We both called bullshit on that.
Yes.
100 meters in dense fog, shut up. And this study,
Mhm.
The Chinese people did all the smog and stuff, but they also did fog.
Okay.
And dense fog is what they defined as what you and I would think dense fog is. And their thing is at most 10 meters. And that's not that's visibility at all. Useful visibility in dense fog is 5 meters. That means you can identify something is there, but not generally what it is. Past 10 meters, you can't see shit at all. You're not going to see it at all.
I would go one step further. I would say 20, but I'd have to have a measuring stick to guarantee again with some of the dense fog that I was in. My issue with the term, and notice I didn't use it on this. I intentionally didn't use it.
Yeah.
I just said fog, right? Because I don't like the term. Stop it. Go away. I don't like the term dense fog that the game uses. But that is the term that the game uses. So ultimately, you can say that, I would say that the game term should be fog, and then dense fog is like half of that, or just a hex or two.
Yeah.
But remember, this is the thing: game masters or referees, you control the narrative with regard to that. As long as everybody's aware of what's up, like, man, you can't see, you can barely see the hand in front of your face. You're not going to be able to see more than a hex. Treat it like a smoke hex then. Just, it's fog, but treat it like a smoke hex.
Yeah. I mean, you say, hey, if it's dense fog, it's smoke, right? There you go. There it is. I mean, in real life, according to these 3 universities, useful visibility where you can identify an object is only up to 5 meters. And beyond 10 meters, you can't see anything at all.
Crap.
Now, if you don't like that definition for dense fog, well, it's real life definition, but this is a game. So if it's that foggy, just call it smoke and you're good.
I forgot to show this. I spent a lot of time on this and I forgot to show it.
No, we saw it. You just didn't explain it.
I know I didn't. That was the whole. I did it by whatever. This is the whole thing. This is the road. These are the trees that you can see through. Remember, this is. I just took that. What do you call it?
This is a hex map of the Google map picture you showed
of the Google map thing. Yeah, to show how far you could technically see and so forth. So anyway, yes, somebody put in the chat that was some genuine dedication and finding solid game rules for you. The thing is there are people on both sides of the fence. There are people like, oh my god, that's so stupid. I can see 10 miles. Okay, maybe you can. Apparently, I have a really good recon roll. Like, okay,
and I don't.
On the other side, there are people like, nope, I would never let somebody see 30 meters whatsoever. The rule is very generic. It only has forest. Oh, so here are my notes. Some rando walking from his car to his front door is not the same as someone sneaking and low crawling through the underbrush. One's a recon roll. One's just some dude walking. The first one, you'd have line of sight. The second part, you'd have an opposed recon roll with the bonus to the sneaker. Weather, darkness also give modifiers to recon and ranged combat. Seeking cover is a fast action, but you can only do it on your initiative. All those things can stop you from being able to shoot somebody. If Heathen Dog has initiative, he's low crawling, whatever, it becomes impossible to shoot him by the rules of the game. But do I technically have line of sight to his area? Yes. So separate those things. Separate the line of sight. I already said that I wish there was a dense forest. I already talked about my robot, and really that was it.
Well, we have some questions, and these are good ones. Ron says, you see an enemy run behind full cover, you take sniper aim and shoot next round with your 50 caliber, penetrating the cover and seeing blood spatter on the back of the wall. See, yeah, this is a thing too. I mean, if you have a weapon that can pierce cover, the cover is now concealment with armor. And if it's thin enough, you're still going to hit the guy. There should be no minuses to hit because he can't move around behind that tree trunk enough to not be hit by your bullet that's piercing it, right? So yes, there are some things the referee is going to have to finagle if the referee wants it to be more or less realistic. But if the referee decides to just, hey, default to the rules as written, there's really nothing you could say because it's a game. It's not real life. It's a game.
Think of it
And
as an
then we
alternate
have
universe.
Law Dog. Yeah, and then we have Law Dog. People have a different perception of fog and visibilities because we judge based off driving through it and the fog be more obscuring if you're moving. That's true. It took me hours I was doing this for hours. I was pissed. I wanted to find it last week. It took me hours to sift through all of the studies that were done for planes and for cars because most visibility studies, guess what, are for planes and cars. This little triumvirate of Asian universities was the only credible one I found that was for a standing individual. It's the only one I could find that was not skewed by movement of the individual or height above ground, because that is definitely going to skew your visibility if you're 10,000 feet high. It's a completely different animal up there. Completely different. So yeah, I had to move through and I made sure that this study actually defined in scientific terms what is fog, what is dense fog, what is rain, what is heavy rain. The study defined exactly what it is, so there was no judgment, there was no bias, observer bias. This much rain is falling per hour. It's this kind of rain. This much humidity in the air. And this much, whatever it was for fog, it's fog, dense fog, light fog, whatever. It was all scientifically defined to take away any kind of individual bias.
Sure.
And those are.
So this was last week, but it's the thing I'm gonna end on. We already read the line of sight rules, but we're gonna do it again. To be able to see and fire at something, you need line of sight. Draw a line between the center dot of your hex, okay, and the center dot of the target hex. If the line passes through any of the below, your line of sight is blocked. A high barrier, that makes sense. It's a wall in your way. You can't see past it. A hex with blocking terrain. It's a natural wall in your way. Got it. A hex at a higher elevation than both you and your enemy. Okay, again, it's a freaking hill. You can't see through hills. A hex filled by smoke, even your own hex or the target's hex. Has to put that in there because normally that intervening terrain is what matters. 3 hexes of forest or 1 hex of foliage. This is why I went through the hex map stuff. Not counting your hex nor the target hex. It's just the way the rule is. A number of hexes in excess of the visibility limit due to darkness and weather. Okay, read all that, right? Here's the important part. If none of the above apply, you have line of sight unless the target is in full cover, in which case your line of sight is also blocked. If you're playing without a battle map, I would even say, even if you are, the referee has the final say on whether you have line of sight or not.
Yeah. Now, another problem I have with the game is that it actually disallows you from shooting if you don't have line of sight. Dude, if I know where he is behind that tarp, I can take a shot.
Well, that's a -3.
Well, yeah, but if the tarp is only 2 feet wide and he's a normal adult human being, that's really not cover. If I know he's there, I saw him go there, that's really not cover. I'll just shoot. And if I hit the tarp, I'll hit him. So I wouldn't even give a character minuses to hit.
I don't know if
know where he is.
I don't know if it's going to be explained late or brought up later, but that'd be like one of those situations where, okay, you're actually aiming at the tarp, not him. So maybe you need 1 extra success or -2, or, just the -3 or some nonsense like that. There are ways absolutely that you can mitigate that. So I hear what you're saying on that, but you can mitigate that if you know where the person is and you have the ability to shoot there. But according to the game, you can't see through more than 3 3 forest hex. You just can't see through it. Well,
except in real life, you've proven that you can.
So here's my take on that. I think that is done for the purposes of balancing out the concept of a dense forest versus a light forest versus an apple orchard versus, something very curious. Like the pine forests of Minnesota. I would argue that you can see for miles underneath those canopies because now I'm told it's because of the acid in the pine needles, but I don't know what the reason. There isn't a lot of undergrowth in those pine forests.
No.
Now, some of the other forests that we'd go hunting in, dude, it was just like walking through that nature park. I'm stepping over spider webs, logs all over. We used to play in forests and so forth.
Bushes everywhere.
Yeah.
Shrubs.
And it's hard to see.
Yeah.
So I think that the game just said, you know what? Instead of having 19 different forms, let's just have forest and foliage. I just wish there was one more. Forest, dense forest, foliage. I'm done beating that dead horse, though.
Okay. All right.
So I don't know how long that segment was. It was probably a year long.
It was long.
But hopefully we don't have another one that long, but I also hopefully that breaks down our thoughts on it, the game's thoughts on it. You can agree with it or disagree with it. I'm okay with what the game's doing. Whether I agree or disagree at this point is kind of irrelevant. Whether Heathen Dog thinks you can see 60 meters or 100 meters, whether I think you can see 40 meters or 1,000 meters, does not matter. The game's got the rules in there. Just follow them. And if something comes up where you need to make a ruling, you're the referee, make a ruling and move the F on. And actually, I'm going to give Heathen Dog the final word on this. Anything you want to say?
No, I mean, the game chose these rules, and you as referee have a choice. You can just say, "Hey, rules is written," and you're right. But the game, in almost every other page, it seems, says the referee has full reign to do whatever the referee wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that too.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to make it more realistic, like I did with the whole study and everything, as realistic as you can with objective results, then you can do that. But if you rewrite the rules, just like Max always said, you have to make them consistent.
And there's a butterfly effect too. You change one rule now, you don't know what it's going to affect on the next.
Yeah, and when you're changing rules, balance issues come up. That's what happens. You have to be prepared for that. Be prepared, and it's fine. It's your game. It's your table. The book tells you to do what you want, so do what you want.
And we'll see you next time.